Dame, thank you, man, for taking the time. I know you got a busy schedule. You're in the middle of your camp right now. Now, this is what I want to know, because 11 years ago when I first moved to the Portland area, I actually started working in this facility, the Hoop and Beaverton.
Really?
Started coaching kids, fell in love with it, and I started doing it long term. And I remember when I first got here, everybody would say, we wish one of the Blazers would come hold a camp.
Yeah.
And they didn't care if it was the 7th man, the 10th man, the 13th man. They just wanted a Blazer.
Yeah.
It went from that to having you, the number one guy, in here every summer having your camp. How did it all come about?
Well, I started off, my first year I think I had it at the Mac Club.
Okay.
I had one camp there, then I had one at like Eastmoreland Courts or something like that. I don't even remember the name of it.
Yeah, that's the name.
But then we needed it was like we always needed like extra baskets. It was just, it was tough. And then we landed on this. It was a good facility. It was big enough to hold the kids. It was just a much better location for the people coming from different places. It was kind of like they could meet in the middle. And the partnership with them, how they run the front desk, how the people at this YMCA, how they interact with the kids and the camp staff and everybody. It's just been much smoother. And after the first year we did it, it was cool.
Yeah.
It worked out great, so we decided to keep bringing it in.
It's one thing for you to hold your camp here. It's an entirely different thing for you to actually be present. You're here all throughout the camp?
Yeah, I mean, I get here 7:30 in the morning. I do my lift and conditioning with Ben Kenyon. And then I start my own court stuff at about 8:15. I do that for about an hour. And camp start at 9, so like when they starting to warm up and do their exercises, waking the kids up, I'm usually finishing up. And then when I finish up, I chill out for a second, check my phone, and then I work my way over there, and start getting involved in camp. But it's a full day for me. If it's gonna be my camp and I'm gonna have my name on it, then I want it to be done the right way. I don't want it to just be a pop up here or there. I want to have my impact on it and really put my hands on the kids and interact with them and really help them improve.
For the kids that come, what can they expect in terms of the camp philosophy, the itinerary, the coaching staff that they're going to be working with?
Well, the first thing is, every morning, the first day of camp, they come in. I get up there, and when I get on the mic, I tell them, all of the important things outside of, just being an athlete or being a basketball player, and that's the character, how you treat people, listening, simple stuff. Get up, make up your bed, wash your face, brush your teeth, eat, prepare yourself for the day. I mean, we teach them a lot of things outside of, be a great basketball player. And I think that's the strongest message that we can give them. Yeah. And we back that up by having a lot of the coaching staff, a lot of the people that coach here, they played at college level. So, they former college athletes, some played 5-6 years ago, some still in college, some 10 years ago, but they have that experience and they've been through it to where they can teach the game well enough to the kids. But they also had to go through it. They experienced it, so it's a lot that they can tell, from their own lens that maybe I might see it different. So we take a lot of pride in that, and, sharing that grind, but that off the court message of being, good people as well as athletes.
As I listen to you talk about that, it takes me back to something that happened this past season. Now, I don't know if you remember this. We're at OKC. You didn't play in this game because you were nursing the ankle.
Yeah.
And typically, after games on the road, I don't see you in the tunnels because you back there answering questions for 30 or 45 minutes.
Right.
But after this game, you were out walking, you were out in the tunnels walking around. And so I'm going out, I'm about to head to the bus. You're walking a different way. We can't see each other because there's a wall separating. You remember what I'm talking about,
I'm
Kyle?
trying to put
I'm
it
gonna get
together.
you there. And there's a security guard, so it's like if there's a triangle, you and I are at the bottom of the triangle. The security guard's like at the top. So she can see you and me coming. And as soon as she sees you, she looks at me and says, wait, stop. She told me to stop, right? So then me and you get to the point, and as soon as you kind of saw it was me and I saw it was you just start laughing, I start laughing. And you had fun with it and kind of said, when you see me, you stop. It's kind of, to me though, that sums up who you are and everything that you just said. And what I see as I observe you with the kids at the camp, you don't allow your title, your status, your stature, your accomplishments to make you better than
Yeah.
anybody else. You do a great job of using that as a way to improve other people's lives. Why is that so important to you?
I mean, because it's not, the way I see myself is I work hard. I care about my craft. You know, I try to get better, and you know, I've been very committed to allow myself to be at the level that I've gotten to as a player. But you know, as a person, I'm the same person. You know, I do a lot of things to improve myself as a person. You know, we all have our shortcomings and our flaws, but I work on myself as a person. And for me, just because I'm a good basketball player doesn't mean that I'm above anybody else. And you know, as professional athletes, I feel like a lot of times we complain about our privacy, and you know, people won't leave you alone at dinner, and you got to sign pictures and take autographs. And for me, I just try to, with these kids, and you know, even with the parents, with the camp coaches, the people that I work with, I try to make it as normal as possible. So where I'm not separating myself from them, so where I'm exclusive or it's a big deal. When they see me, when the kids see me, they just like, "What's up, Dame?" They just walk up, they say, "What's up?" It's not like they just going crazy.
Yeah.
I sat over there and took pictures with every camper. I was sitting there, and they were just sitting there. They was like, "What's up, Dame?" Take the picture, get up, walk off. It was like they excited inside, but it's not something that's new to
It's
them.
regular for them.
Yeah, it's regular. They don't feel like they can't get a hold of me.
Yeah.
And you know, I take a lot of pride in that because I like people to be comfortable and you know, relax. I don't want them to, you know, not be themselves when they get around me or look at me like I'm something they're not, because that's uncomfortable for me. Like, I don't want to be thinking about that, you know what I'm saying? So I take pride in that.
Now, you do realize that's not normal, right? Like, you know there's not just first team All-NBA or MVP candidates that's walking around kicking it with groups of kids where they feel, you know what I mean, that's a special thing that you bring here.
I mean, that's what I come from.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if all my cousins come to my house, they all think they're a better basketball player than me. Like, they don't look at me like, yeah, I think I'm good, but he not in this conversation. Like, they think they better than me at playing hoop, and I'm in the NBA. Like you said, I made first team, so.
I know you got something to do with that, don't he?
Exactly, he the main one. But like, the people that surround me, my family, my friends, they don't put me up there to where it's like I'm above them or anything else. It's like, you a part of this too. You regular too. You make mistakes and you do stuff just like we do. So I think having that type of environment and that type of support system, it makes it easy, you know, to where that's just normal for me.
Yeah. Well, it's not just this camp. So final week of June, I'm down in Santa Monica at the NBA Awards. You know, James Harden going to receive the MVP. You got Ben Simmons getting Rookie of the Year. Donovan Mitchell's there. Some of the legends are there. T-Mac, Shaq, Charles. Everybody's there. But I look on my phone and I see Damian Lillard's in Portland looking for kids that wear size 12 or 12 and a half shoe that are able to meet at Irving Park to have a shoe giveaway. Were you driving a U-Haul with the shoes in them?
Yeah.
How? What? Explain to me how this all came about.
I mean, it was random. I was literally in my closet, and my girlfriend was like, you never gonna wear all these shoes. Like, why you just had these shoes stacked up in the closet? Because in my closet, I literally had boxes stacked up to the ceiling, like next to each other. It was like 3 stacks all the way up to the ceiling in the corner. Then I had shoes all around the floor and up, like on shelves and stuff. It was just a bunch of shoes. So when she said it, I just started going through the boxes. I was looking at them, looking at what shoes I actually liked that I didn't even realize was up there. Which ones I didn't care about and that I'd give away. So I just went through them. And it ended up being like 115 pairs that I was like, I don't even really want them. So like when I had them in the middle of my closet, they were still in boxes and stuff. And I was just like, I told my cousin, I said, go get a U-Haul truck.
Just right there on the spot.
And him and Kayla, they went to go get a U-Haul truck, and they came back. And when they came back, my cousins helped me just load it up in the U-Haul. And then I text my barber, my boy Tay, and I said, what's a good park to where I could pull up to and people will come? And he was like, you should do it at Irving Park. People be out there hooping all the time. There's always a lot of people there. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna send a tweet and put it on Instagram to see if people will come. So I literally tweeted it and put it on Instagram like 45 minutes before I left. And then got in the U-Haul, drove down there, and we gave the shoes out.
Were you surprised by how many people? Because again, I'm just looking on my phone. I'm looking at the crowds of people. I see you. out there in the U-Haul with the boxes in your hands.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a promo stunt. Like this was just
Yeah, I
real
mean,
on the spot.
It was on the spot. Like I literally thought of it, and it all happened probably in about an hour and a half. Like it happened that fast. And when I got there, I was like, I know it's gonna be people there. Like I knew it was gonna be people there, but it was way more than I expected.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I was just like, you know, I saw like Casey, Hold On. I just saw like news cameras and all that, and I was like, man, I ain't really expected to be like that. You know what I'm saying? To where they think I set it up or something. But I mean, I knew what my intentions was, so I just kind of gave the shoes away. A bunch of people showed up, and you know, I got rid of the shoes and left.
Yeah. Well, you're huge in the community. That's just one little snapshot of things you do. I want to talk to you about your Respect campaign. How did that come about?
Well, it all started, I say, when I was in the 10th grade.
Okay.
It was my first year going to private school in Alameda, St. Joe's, Notre Dame. It's the school that Jason Kidd went to. And I went there, and you know, I was different than a lot of the kids. You know, just being from East Oakland, and you know, my neighborhood and my upbringing was different than theirs. And basketball wasn't working out. Like I didn't play my sophomore year. I didn't get in the game much, and you know, I didn't vibe well with a lot of the students. I had people that I was cool with, but it was I was on the team, so like I was always around, I guess, the cooler people.
Okay.
It was a dude named Garrett. Everybody called him G Smooth, but everybody would just kind of. He was a dude that people used to clown on and pick on. Like it never was physical, but it was like he was the easy person to crack a joke on or like come at it, and it was like he wasn't going to really do nothing. And you know, and I saw how it was impacting or affecting him because we started to spend time together because he lived in Oakland, so we'd catch the bus together sometimes, or like we'd be going the same way, so we'd be walking to the bus stop at the same time, and we just got cool, and I just took it upon myself, like, all right, I don't really like none of these people like that anyway, so if they want to mess with them, I'm finna just start jumping in. And that's kind of where it started. I kind of just decided I was gonna have his back, you know.
And were you the only one that made this decision?
Yeah, like, I mean, me and him, people used to think it was funny how me and him used to be together all the time. And you know, that was like where it began. And then when I graduated high school, the first summer I got to Weber, I was 17 years old, we did Special Olympics.
Okay.
And just like having that impact and being able to help and stuff like that, that's kind of what got me going in that direction of just impacting other people. But as far as the Respect campaign, we kind of brought in more. You know, we brought more things on board as far as that with kids actually in school. So where it is now is, you know, just trying to find those schools with low attendance.
Okay.
The kids coming from the less fortunate situations who, you know, might have to work, so they got to cut school, and you know, just that's kind of struggling, you know. So that's what the Respect campaign has been focused on, kind of inspiring them and motivating them to, you know, do better. Sometimes that's with incentives, you know, tickets to the game, a bunch of things, gift cards. You know, we do a lot of stuff, but just trying to, I guess, light a fire underneath them and inspire the kids to, I guess, brighten up their future.
Wow, I think that's great. And I got one more thing I want to ask you about before I let you get back with the kids. I remember hearing this story about you. You were talking, you were on a podcast or something, and it was fascinating to me because you rarely see this kind of thing these days. So in Oakland, you played for the Oakland Rebels.
Yeah.
The team that kind of ran Oakland, ran the West Coast was the Oakland Soldiers, right? Okay, so early on in your AAU career, you playing up against the Soldiers and y'all can't get them.
Yeah.
You giving it your best wings and you can't get them.
Couldn't get them.
And you got to a place in your individual game where the Soldiers wanted you. They would have taken you on their team.
Yeah.
You said no to that just because you wanted to beat them yourself.
Yep.
Now, I want to frame this. I want to give people perspective because a lot of people maybe don't understand.
I see where you're going.
The Soldiers would be the equivalent of maybe in the NBA right now, a Golden State, a team that's winning championship after championship, has several All-Stars, a team that if you join the Soldiers, you're almost guaranteed a collegiate scholarship. Right out the gate. High D1. And you said no to all of that. Why?
Because that just wasn't what it was. I mean, obviously you give a lot of that. You get a lot of that from you know, your family. Like my dad, first of all, he wouldn't have let me if I wanted to. But the stuff that I grew up around, it just wouldn't allow me to do it myself. You know, it was never even a thought for me. Like when they wanted me to do it, I was like, nah, like that ain't how it worked. And you know, playing for the Rebels, we had too much history. We had all been together since elementary school.
Yeah.
You know, catching Bart all the way to practice, catching bus to practice. We had did it all, man. Like going to 4th Street in Berkeley, selling raffle tickets from noon to 6 o'clock, selling raffle tickets so we can raise money to travel, you know, just to go to Vegas and LA.
Because you didn't have the same thing that you didn't have.
The Soldiers,
shoe
it was
company money
sponsorship,
that they had.
you know?
Exactly.
Best players from, you know, everywhere, just all on the team. And for me, I just kind of learned to appreciate that grind to where it wasn't really about, it got to the point where it was like, okay, they the best team, they got the best players, and they win the tournaments and all that stuff. But for me, that was what we was working for and playing for, but the other stuff became bigger to me, like the relationships with my teammates. Like a lot of the dudes in here that's working camp, that played in college and you know, graduated from college, those my best friends, like the people that I was playing with. So like those friendships and the coaching staff, they like father figures to me.
Yeah.
They taught me how to work hard. They taught me what it meant to really work and to compete and stuff like that. So, I mean, that meant more to me than just saying, all right, I play for the Soldiers and, you know, maybe getting a scholarship to Ohio State, for example, when I really belonged at Weber State. You know, that was what worked for me. So, I feel like it always work out, you know, when you stick to what's true to you and what's right. And, you know, I feel like I'm in a similar situation, like you said.
Yeah.
So.
And y'all eventually beat them.
Well, my last summer playing, that was our best year. And we ended up, when they always do like the Bay Area rankings, like the Northern California rankings, and like the Soldiers was always #1, and it was like the Lake Show's team called the Lake Show. And we didn't play the Soldiers because the tournament that we would have played each other, they ended up losing. And we won, but at the end of the summer, we was #1 ranked team.
#1 ranked team.
Yeah.
So it can be done.
Can be done.
Dame, I appreciate you taking the time, man. Hope you have a great finish of your camp.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
man.
sir. All right, man.